Good day, everyone, and welcome to the journey. I am Reverend Bobby, and today on the journey, I have with me Miss Sonya Freeman. How are you doing today, Sonya?
Well, the Reverend Dr. Robert Yarborough
Oh,
had to
oh, you just
all
made me. I know all of those things. It's like E, all of the above.
Mhm.
And while we're both doing well, we want you to do well. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, Gospel of Robert, GOSPELOFROBERT. That way you get a little ding every time we put some good stuff up here. So, Sonya,
Yes.
you're all nice looking and everything today and smiley. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little snippet about Sonya.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Well, again, my name is Sonya Freeman, and I am a registered nurse. Can't believe it's been 16 years. Yes, in May it will be 16 years. And yeah, that's about it. Other than I'm a identical twin. In fact, my sister was interviewed by the Reverend Doctor on last week, and she said she had an amazing time. And I'm here to have an amazing, enlightening time.
Well, that is just wonderful. Now, registered nurse, how did that career path come about for you?
Oh, wow, that's an interesting question. It's ironic that you asked that question because yesterday I was having a conversation with my office mate, and I told her of my interesting journey where I thought I wanted to become a pharmacist because in high school I did a presentation on pharmacy and I started as a pre-pharmacy major
Hmm.
at a local university here where I'm from. And throughout the course of my matriculation, I realized, okay, this is really not for me. I worked in an inpatient pharmacy and an outpatient, actual retail pharmacy as a tech. And I really wasn't doing that well academically because at the time I just wasn't as focused. And so I had a conversation with a friend of mine who had graduated from the same university. We attended, and she was a biology major. She graduated in with a degree in biology, and she said, "Well, I'm going to nursing school." I said, "Okay, I'm going to try that." So that was more than like 30 plus years ago, and I attended the same nursing school that I graduated from 30 plus years ago. At that time, it didn't work out for me. Some things happened, and I had to drop out. And then I did some other things throughout my life up until 16, probably maybe 20, 18, 20 years ago. I decided I wanted to attend nursing school again. And I did. I was a much better student. I was more focused. At the time, I was a mom to a 14-year-old son. And I knew that I needed to provide a solid life for myself and my son. So of course I was focused and I completed the program and I realized that nursing offered a lot more than pharmacy. So I'm glad that I took that road.
Well, the school, you went to Xavier, right?
I did Xavier University of Louisiana.
And I know a good gobs of people my age and all around in my life that went there and came out pharmacy majors.
Hmm.
It's like that's what they do there. You'd have been a good pharmacist, I think, handing out drugs to people. So with the nursing, how did it make you feel being in a position to help people and that kind of stuff that you probably wanted to do from the beginning?
You're right about that. I think that it allowed me to infuse my personality and my love for uh, really health and wellness. That's like the focus and the foundation of why I do what I do. And it's really more so education. You
Hmm.
know, I consider myself a lifelong student, as we all are. Some of us don't feel that way. That's okay. But for me, I feel that I'm always and forever learning, and I like to impart the same knowledge and information that I receive to others to make them, to empower them as I empower myself
Hmm.
along the way.
Hmm.
I think that's really important as a nurse to to be abreast of all the changes, and also just know I have to practice what I preach. So therefore, just be the example in order to educate and instruct others.
Now, with the health and wellness, do you just leave that within the nursing realm, or is there other outside realms that you delve in with health and wellness?
Of course, it's not compartmentalized. I like to say it's health and wellness covers every aspect of our lives, from mental, emotional, financial, relationships, and most importantly, it's the spiritual, and the relationship that you have with yourself is what brings about wholeness, wellness, along with, the physical things like exercise, taking deep breaths, and nutrition is very, very important as well to incorporate, to have holistic um, health, or I should say holistic lifestyle.
Mhm. What are some of the things you did to develop the strong relationship with yourself and to keep it in place?
I attended a lot of, I won't say, well, just a few like personal growth and development courses, which provided me with the tools to incorporate in my life, and they're practical tools to expand my relationship with myself. First and foremost, to get to know myself, know what I like, know what I don't like, and be true to myself. I think that's the key, is being true to self. And so that um, encompasses a lot of reading, personal growth and development books, listening to videos, following other thought leaders. That also goes back to being raised in the church. From a little girl, our parents sent us to, just my sister and I, to um, Sunday school, and that's where it all started. I mean, my spiritual journey began at birth,
Hmm.
and so therefore, throughout the course of my life and the experiences that sharpened me, it allowed me to grow, and I'm forever growing. I mean, you never stop growing. So I hope I answered that question, because I went off on a little tangent.
No, you were fine. You were just explaining how important things were to you, and how important is the spiritual part of the deal. We get caught up in so much other stuff, and sometimes forget about that spiritual man and woman. How important was that to you in developing her?
Oh, it was extremely important, because I felt that everything that I had to learn, and the things that I needed to develop, was outside of myself. So when I realized that, wow, it's really on me to
Mhm.
be like, to take an army commercial slogan, be all that you can be. It started with me. It all rested and resided within me. So I realized, okay, you got to get yourself together. You have to to be responsible and accountable for yourself. And when it comes to manifestation, which I love that, we're all co-creators, as you know, as the word says, we're co-creators with Him, with God, and so therefore, I excuse me, I had a little interruption here. Yeah, I had to to really be true to self and admit to myself and acknowledge, okay, this is what you need to do to change, and
Mhm.
not look outside of yourself, but look within for the answers. And then, of course, once the answers are generated within me, then it will appear in my outward environment. So it was getting my inner environment balanced and on one accord. Because I tell you, I have had situations where I was, stressed, thinking that it was the outside forces, which, I mean, let's be honest, there are outside forces that come to thwart and to sabotage what we do, the
Mhm.
reason why we're here.
Right.
So I realized, okay, I know that there are outside forces, but I needed to control my inner forces to counteract the outer forces.
So
And that was an ongoing thing.
when you found how strong you were in your inner forces in balancing, counteracting, neutralizing the, I call it the external stimuli, because stuff come at us to make us jump and knock us off from our square. As you became more and more a master of yourself, how did it play out in your life?
Oh wow. It played out wonderfully, like a symphony, when all those pieces and parts, the harmonies of the instruments, they come together and you get your flow. Then you realize, wow, I do have the power, I have the control over myself now,
Yes.
over not over these extenuating circumstances. It's having the power and the control over self, so that I was able to work my way through situations that may have been pleasant or unpleasant. They only last but a season, and so with every, with growth comes a different challenge,
Mm.
which allows, or at least allowed me to hone my skills and my intuition, and being able to trust myself in decision making, or to say to self, no, you need to stay still, be still. And then it's also good to commune and collaborate with like-minded individuals such as yourself, who give perspective, because of course, we're in this journey, we're not alone.
Right.
So therefore, we rely, at least I rely on the community to, just to get through things, and to learn from others' experiences, so that I can avoid some of the pitfalls.
I know. And the support and the love and the go signs that we get from the community are very important as we continue on. Because sometimes you know how it is, you just be shaking your head like, what is going on?
What's going on?
And
And then you wonder, like, when is it ever gonna end? When is it gonna let up? But I mean, it's like I'm in the crucible, and I'm getting, the fire is around me, but it's just molding and shaping me into a work of art.
I always talk about gold and how gold is purified, because with gold, you take it, you put it in, like you said, the crucible with your um, scientific self. And you put it in there and you heat the gold up and heat it up and heat it up and heat it up. And the impurities rise to the top. And then you could just kind of skim it off. And for an analogy for our life, that kind of is kind of how it happens with us too. But that fire be hot as we be getting heated up sometimes, doesn't it, Sonya
Woo!
Freeman?
Yes, that fire is hot and it rages. But I'm like the biblical characters Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
I call them Shadrach, Meshach, and the Bad Negro.
Bro. Yeah. Listen, they were in that flame, but they were not consumed.
No, they weren't.
So that's like some good food.
They didn't even smell like barbecue smoke.
Nope. Nope, they didn't. That was the test. You can be tested, but you don't have to be, you won't be consumed. Let's say that. You won't be consumed by the test. You could, but I choose not to.
Well, yeah, you could. I see you got kind of a teacher finger going on there. You be bringing that teacher finger out. Well, it's about like the choose you this day stuff. Like you were saying earlier in the mastery of yourself, because we master how we look at things, think about it, feel about it. Because the same thing, like you said, could happen one day and you feel icky about it and it becomes a gruesome experience.
Mhm.
And it could happen some way down the road and you just be like, oh, like, okay. And everything passes. And it seems like it's us that kind of controls that by how long we're going to hold on to something being a certain way, um, that kind of stuff. And when did you find out you had some control over how long the fire, how long the heat up was going to last?
That's a great question. I really,
Well, you're a great person. You have a lot of wisdom. I'll be trying to track you down. Come on, girl.
I can't. I would say throughout my life, when I realized that I was in the fire and the cauldron, sometimes you have to sit there. I realized I had to sit there without being consumed, but sit there and sit with myself.
That's
And
like the burning bush fire. It lit that fire up, that bush up, but it didn't consume it. It
right,
just burned brightly within it and of it. And we're kind of that same way. Let our fire burn, but not consume us. Because it's when we take that control that things get better, isn't it?
yes, it does get better. It's a, I don't know. I guess I would see it as it's an indication for us to know that okay, everything's okay, everything's all right. Um, like you tell me, breathe. If we just take deep breaths,
Mhm.
and clear our minds and our hearts so that they can be on one accord and in sync, then the answers come.
Yes.
They come, and the clarity and the calmness comes from within, and then we can move forward.
But that's interesting that you would say that because sometimes I talk about us people in general
Mhm.
not taking that time to do that upfront work, that spiritual work, the meditative being in the quiet work, so we know what to do. How come we just so ready to jump into things when we don't know what the heck's going on?
That's immaturity. I look at that as it's just immaturity and lack of knowledge. Okay, because we're so used or programmed to doing things one way, you know. So when other things that are foreign or alien to us come, okay, this could be a better way, and we're like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's not gonna help. Like meditation, that's not gonna help. When I began to practice, and it's a practice,
Some practice.
right? It's like practicing, and trust me, I fall off.
I trust you, but we all fall down.
Yeah, but we get back up.
We get back up.
And so meditation helped me to center and calm myself because although on the outside, on the exterior, I may seem cool, calm, and collected. But what really counts is how I'm feeling on the inside.
You always seem cool, calm, and collected on the outside. I'll be like, does anything bother that girl?
Yes. But listen, I'm turning flips, cartwheels, and somersaults inside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
really that's what counts is so it's calming and centering my inward person, my inner self.
hmm
Yeah.
And balance is a big thing for you because you are who you are. And sometimes the balance, as the pendulum swings, it swings over to that which is palatable and tastes real good. And then it swings back to that which we kind of go, to it with. How do you handle the back and forth?
Ooh, I have to remain balanced. When I go back and forth, when I go to that extreme side,
Extreme, yeah.
I do, you know what? This
What?
this thought just occurred to me.
Share with me, Sonya Freeman.
Listen, instead of me always trying to scurry back to the middle, I need to be with that extreme side and sit in it and become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
part.
don't you find yourself doing that now to some degree?
Oh yeah, because I'm always jumping into something else.
Yeah,
That
you are.
right. It's like I test myself. That like a part of my growth. I guess I have to. Now, I always say, let me not use I guess. I'm going to speak affirmatively. I attribute it to my personality and that I'm always seeking to discover more,
hmm
seeking to learn more. So, because I'm seeking to learn more, I'm like raising the bar for myself and going into unknown areas. So, therefore, I'm challenging myself to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Now, as you raise yourself, that's like um, the letting go of the bottom rung to get to the top rung, or when you on a journey on a ship or something, when you get away from the land and you just out there in the water. All the time you may not know where you are, but you keep going in a different in a certain direction. What gives you that direction? What gives you the compass, to go in that direction? What is your lighthouse to show you the way?
Mm, the lighthouse that shows me the way is me.
Yes, tell me more.
It's me because I'm developing my spiritual awareness, my mental awareness, emotional, physical awareness. It's tuning me into, okay, I listen to myself more. Um, I observe more. I don't talk as much. I listen more so that I can be guided into the best direction for me. And I'm not going to say the right or the
Right.
wrong direction, but the most favorable direction for me.
Right. Right.
And so, if you gave the analogy of being out on the ocean and you're flailing like, where am I gonna go? And the lighthouse, you're out in the distance. And I can recall being taught, like when you're swimming and you're treading water and you get tired, what do? You just go with the flow and you release and you relax and you spread your arms, you don't fight, you just lie on your back and allow your body weight to cause you to float,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
until you gain the strength,
Yeah.
start swimming again.
Yeah, because the back float was the when I was learning to swim. It was the I guess now we could call it was an introduction to surrender. I mean, it just came to me while you was talking, and that, because you have to surrender all of your movement, all your everything, kick your head back, and just be there to take that buoyancy that keeps you up. Because you do tread water. Our Boy Scout, we had to do the mile swim and tread water for all that time till your legs feel like falling off and go to the bottom, get that 15-pound brick off of the bottom of to get your merit badge and stuff. So, but as we talk, it's an introduction to surrender, and as you learn to surrender more and come outside of that behavioral conditioning that we gotta do, chug a lug a lug. How does it make you feel? Do it make you feel icky, or are you getting kind of used to it now?
Well, honestly, it makes you feel icky because you don't feel like you're in control.
Hmm.
At least I don't feel like I'm in control. But really, I am in control because I'm allowing myself to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really more in control than the other once you really start to understand that the letting go and then the flow uh, keeps you more on top of things than the way we was behaviorally conditioned to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, since this leg of our journey is getting ready to come to an end. Thank you for being here. What would you say to the people when they just hit a wall and need that little bit of gumption, little bit of, oh, what do I do now to keep going? What would you say to them?
I would say if you hit that wall, hit it, you're gonna hit the wall and bounce off, right? If when you buy and after you bounce off that wall, just sit there. If you have to reach out to someone who can coach you, give you a helpful word of encouragement, even if you have to sit there with you by yourself, cry, whatever it is, let off the emotion, and then find solutions, because
Mhm.
there are always solutions to what we call problems. And go within, trust yourself, trust your instincts, listen to yourself more. And if you feel that you can't trust yourself, then seek out someone who you can trust with uh, wisdom, level headedness that can guide. Because I understand we all come through this life like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
But that's why we rely on our resources to see us through, because sometimes we have those moments of weakness. I have had them, and from time and again,
Mhm.
I still have them. I think as
I've
long as
seen them.
we live in this body and in this three-dimensional reality, we're going to have challenges. So just be willing to face the challenges and get up. If you fall down, get back up.
Get back up.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for that bit of wisdom. Well, everyone, thank you for being on the journey today with Reverend Bobby and Sonya Freeman. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Gospel of Robert, GospelRobert, just one, no spaces, so that you can get the dings and those kinds of things when we put some of this good stuff out here. And for Sonya and myself, we just hope and pray that you continue to journey well. Bye.